on the computer, and we will extremely well. Let me just invoke favor upon everybody, and we welcome all you free thinkers to this community that is growing and growing in love and learning to walk in favor in all things. So we just welcome you. Thank you, moderators. Thank you for everyone stopping by. Your time is as valuable as ours, and we respect that. And we thank you for your energy. And we just invoke favor upon you this day. May there be nothing missing, nothing broken found in your life, and may favor find you favorable. So, hello, Trina, and happy birthday to everyone's having one, and anniversaries as well. It's not ours, but it could be yours. So,
absolutely.
So, Trina, how are you, my dear?
I'm wonderful. Just busy, life keeping you on the wheel working. But other than that, really good.
Good. It's amazing how so many of us get on the hamster wheel of life and we never get off of it. And then we wonder why we never accomplish anything.
Yeah, and we wonder why we spent our whole life waiting to live, and it's like it's just zooming. It's going so fast, and there's just not a lot of time, and it's hard. It's like, when you're working a lot, it's just hard, with all the stuff you got to do just to maintain the house, the life, it's a lot.
It is, and I think it's designed that way.
It is.
And time is definitely being compressed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's hard to really fathom that Friday, the year is almost over with. It'll, just 2 months left.
Yeah.
The weeks are seeming like, how my wife and I were talking about this of late, the weeks literally seem like days.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
It's insane. I mean, literally, it goes so fast. That's like when we do this show. It seems like we were talking 10 minutes. It's gone. I'm like,
I just parked the car, damn it. I don't want to lose the parking space.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, it's like time warps. They're so fast.
Yeah. And I do believe that there is this thing called time distillation. Mm-hmm. And, we don't know everything that's out there. In fact, it's so cool. Let me show you some interesting pictures, Trina, that I saved to everyone. So let me put this up. So this is a recent picture from Chandra Hubble. This, my friends, is outside of our galaxy, but let me just blow it up. And Trina, this is what we're a part of. This is the community that we are in. And I mean, this is a nova going off. I mean, this is like poosh. I mean, if you were living, if planet Earth was in there, we'd be gone. But, the universe, it's a very violent place, isn't it?
Yeah, it's constantly growing.
It is. Yeah. All right, I have another one. I have to do the stop share, folks, on this one because this is how Zoom hangs, and we hang with Zoom because, hey, it's cool. So here is another view. This is what we have seen in the past. This is now within the enhanced telescopes that are out there, and now we're beginning to see just how active the universe is. Yeah, and folks, these are galaxies.
Yeah.
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 And one more for everybody, since we're coming up on All Souls Day. I do believe that's what it is. Isn't that what the 31st is? I believe it is, the Day of the Dead. And here we go. So this is a collision of two galaxies. They've already, isn't it cool? They've already made one pass at each other. The explosion, which is now the active region of where new stars are being born, new planets. Most likely they already are. They probably have life on them. This is, I think that this is like 13 million light years away.
Wow. That's profound. That is so beautiful.
Look at this. This is a galaxy.
It's so funny because what I've always heard, when 2 points of light collide, it makes new creation.
Ooh, That's profound, Trina.
I've always told, and then they showed me two pyramids, coming together and forming the Star of David, and it like turning into the Merkabah, into the
Mm-hmm.
diamond body. Yeah, and I see this on a micro and a macro level. It's beautiful all the way down from conception of birth to like this, where two galaxies are colliding, and every time they bump into each other, it creates new life, new
Yeah,
creation, because it's the combination of both of those books of life coming into each other's fields. It's an
I find it.
information collision. Yeah, it's a collision of information. So beautiful.
I meditate on this, and of course, right over my head is the center of our galaxy. Um, and, it helps me at time, Trina, and we'll stop sharing that, although I find it very, I shall say, titillating. I
It's
love that
beautiful.
word. It
Beautiful.
just causes me, I get a sense of awe, obviously, but what I feel more than anything else is gratitude.
Yeah.
I mean, our ancestors, maybe they saw things like this, maybe they didn't. I don't know. I know my immediate family and going back generation after generation, I don't believe any of them have. We get to see galaxies colliding. I mean,
Yeah,
how
that's
cool is
amazing.
that?
It's amazing. It's absolutely profound, and it shows you that technology is catching up with the creator.
Mm, prime creator. I'm finding I like that term more and more. Reading a lot of what the Palladians have been teaching, and I keep an open mind in all of it. And
Too. I used to really love that prime creator concept as well, but now I'm kind of getting a little bit out even side of that, because prime creator is dealing with primes, and it's 0 through 9, law of 9, and it might be to this construct. So
it's an interesting take. I mean,
no, it is.
um, Jerry Rock, he
Yeah,
passed on, crossed
I
over, I think Monday night, right?
think so.
And, we don't think that, by the way, Trina, you told me, we don't think it was the cancer. We think that he went the way that I'm planning to go in my sleep.
Yeah, I think it would, for whatever reason. Everybody's been talking about how hard these solar radiation waves and stuff are on our hearts. And it was funny because one of the people in our community was like, I felt something in his heart. And another one did too. And a couple of us are feeling and sensing his presence. And I actually think I got to hear him. And when I found out, I was like, oh my gosh, I was just floored. And it was so funny. I just tuned in, and I was just sending prayers to him and telling him, great journey to you, my friend. I'll see you on the other side. And
Yeah,
it was so funny. I literally heard him giggle, and he's like, girl, I'm all right.
I think, he
That was
is
all I
doing
heard.
fine. If he was
Yeah,
in this
girl, I'm
community,
all right.
he he at least went with knowledge that
Oh, he
many did
did.
not go.
That's what we were talking about, Wayne, that one of our community, I don't know if they want me to tell you about their name, but yeah, she was picking up on the fact that he said that because of his consciousness, he understood so much more than most people when they die like that. And he's already getting his bearings, and he was like, I can affect everything from this position. I can recode things. He's seeing all these things that he could do.
Mm-hmm.
That's profound. So you go, Jerry.
Oh, you know, you know, um, happy trails is what I say. And,
Yeah, and
you
what a
know,
support for our family.
yeah, and we'll just give you a group hug, Jerry. We'll send out favor
Absolutely.
to you from this community, and my friend, party on. And,
Yeah.
you know, um I think it's going to be the same for many of us. I mean, it's that our caption today, our topic is no fear.
Nope.
And death is truly the last enemy that the mind will have to conquer.
It's an illusion.
Mm, it is. It is an illusion. It
It is
is.
an
Yeah.
illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an illusion. It's the
Yeah.
biggest mind trap that you can step into.
It is. And I think the shock is for so many, course, I haven't, actually experienced it all the way through. I've kind of gone through it,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You're close, but didn't cross
no, almost
completely
like,
over. Yeah. Yep.
but, you know, this is how I reason it. In fact, I had a chance to share this weekend. The thing about fear is I told the person, I said, do you fear going to sleep?
Mhm.
I mean, do you fear waking up?
Right.
And the gentleman who was very astute, he said, I don't even think about it.
Right.
All right. That's the key. Now the question is, why are you here? Since you got that one figured out, now life begins to take on a little more importance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Um, you know, I get a lot of letters, a lot of emails from people. Emails or letters, what they used to be 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And there are a number of people who struggle with fear, particularly of unseen entities. We'd call
Mhm.
them spirits. We'd call them, I don't know. There's a lot of vernaculars that you can add to it.
Absolutely.
Demons,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my approach is to get up in their face.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't fear any of them. I
Mhm.
don't care how long they've been around. I don't care if they are a king, a lord, a prince. I'll
Mhm.
kick them in the nuts and then say, let's talk again, because I
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
The way I look at it, and this, folks, I'll just share this as Wayne Steiger's opinion. You can only kill me once, this
Mhm.
body.
Right.
Yeah. What's
You got to
left
deal
is,
with the eternal me.
yes. And I told one particular spirit, it was a dark one. And
Uh-huh.
I told it, because it was very reticent in wanting to leave its influence. And I said, you are either going to obey my command, because you can't violate my will. You can't
No.
violate my space.
Nope.
That's a law.
Yep.
And I told it, and of course I was standing in my basement with no lights on. That's the best way to do it, folks.
Mhm.
If you're going to fight the spirit realm, you need to see with your inner eyes, not these.
Yeah.
I told it very bluntly, I said, in the court of the universe, I will hunt you down like the dog you are. And when I get a hold of you, I will drag you to the abyss and throw you in.
Yep.
You know what I heard? Ah!
It ran.
And it
Yeah.
ran. Literally, my wife came
Because
from 2 stories up the house and said, what's going on?
yep. Yep. Yeah.
So anyway,
Because you do have the power to do that. That's why they freak out, because we have no idea how powerful we are.
yes.
And we do have the power to cast these things where we choose, because that is our power of imagination and creation that we have from creation itself. We
Mm,
are powerful with this divine spark that we hold inside of us, the power
yeah.
of the divine feminine.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I'll tell you, Trini. And
You know how I deal with them?
tell me, I want to know.
Because they come at you so many different ways.
They do.
So the first thing I try to do is identification. What is going on in my field? This isn't mine. Figuring out what is yours and what is not yours is 90% of it right there. What is this? Then, after I can get some kind of identification on it, then I'm asking, how did it get into my field?
Mm.
Because these things cannot come in unless you have opened the door.
Now let's stop there. That's profound, because
True.
obviously a door is open.
Yep, and it can be through negative, having a bad day, hitting your foot on the door to the way out the door, anything. I mean, it's a frequency and it's a call. So only negative energies can only match vibration. So you have to have let this thing in somehow, some way. So you need to find out, where are your doors and what are you opening up to? And these are all either just spirits that like screwing with people, or people send things out to try to hurt you. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you can find out kind of what it's doing, because then you'll know what it is.
Mm.
So identify, how is this affecting me? What is it trying to do? What kind of thoughts keep coming into my head that aren't mine? What is this thing's ammo? Literally
Good.
get into these things and say, who are you? What is your purpose? Because now it's time to get rid of you. And I'm going to make sure all these doors are closed so you cannot enter.
And the bell tolls. But I want to stop because you hit on a couple of very key points. Number one, I have found that the doors sometimes are left open in areas that we wouldn't even think are that big of a deal.
Like you've been watching a movie.
Watching a movie,
Yep.
something that
Yep.
invokes,
That's simple.
yeah, just
Yep.
get you where
That's
that
simple.
thought is open.
That's it. It is that simple. It's like everybody's like looking for all these huge things. It's like, no, it can be that simple. You just watched a movie.
I know people who have a fear of losing, money, being broke,
And they
poverty.
will be broke because they will bring that fear to them so
That
that way they
door
can
is
conquer
open.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We fear that comes directly to you as a product of your own thought, your own thought forms. Oh yeah, just you got to go head on with that. And you have to change the belief system that's within you, which 90% came from a program you received before you were age 7. So go back in, use your imagination, talk to your inner child, ask them to help you recover this memory. Put it up on a movie screen, view it, and then ask for your higher self to help you see why you process this way, what it really is. What if you created this for part of your own soul growth, or was this just a product of life? You understand it, and when you can see it from a higher position, it doesn't affect you anymore. The memory's still intact, but you see it from a higher place. That's what your higher self does.
And you talk about how it's programmed in us at such an
Yes.
early age.
Yes.
I think a lot of this is family heredity as well.
It's in our codes, it's in our genetics, because
Mhm.
we carry all the information of our past lives within the Akashic records and the ethereal body. So those energy bodies hold all those memories that you have no awareness of. Your conscious mind couldn't even process all the information that you hold within your DNA.
Well, and as I did a whole show on it yesterday, the profoundness of the revelation that hit me was the fact that, and I was part of this, that I looked at my existence tied to Earth.
Yes.
And when you got everything tied to Earth, you have the religions, the customs, and it can't be that way. I can't be a human. That's number one, absurd, for the fact that to call me a human. The Earth has only been here a very short period of window time, as I said yesterday, and now I go to sleep meditating on deliberately focusing in on my past prior to Earth.
Yes.
I'm asking the questions now.
And you'll start to see.
Well,
That's all it takes is sincere asking.
yeah,
And literally, you will start to see. And you see now how you're being drawn to the Pleiadian information?
it's odd because I
No, it's
was
because
very
you're
anti.
asking. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
asking. So
yeah,
you're going to go. You're going to go
yeah,
down that road.
yeah.
But Wayne, this is a thing, is like, I'm starting to realize that everything that we're seeing about the constructs of the past from this construct, it's one galaxy. We got to
Mm-hmm.
get outside of this
We got to
galaxy
get her
because,
head out of our
yeah,
galaxy.
we've been in many other galaxies too. It's
Yes, yes.
so huge. We can only take in pieces.
Yeah.
But man, if you're going to start going and taking pieces, just go big, because we've
Hey,
been playing for a while in this realm. I think it's time to get outside of it.
I think I heard this on a show. You got to risk it to get the biscuit.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's right
So
to
we
the
like
membrane.
biscuits.
Yeah, yeah.
And but seriously, this is where I am at now, and I'm finding.
You know what I see,
Yeah.
Wayne? I literally see us as a galactic sun. Each and every
Mm.
single one of us is a galactic sun. So where's your galaxy? Woohoo.
It seems to be that away.
Yeah,
I
because it's
mean,
macro, micro. It's the
yeah.
same thing. And you got a body up there, like you got a body right here. It's all about copies.
Well, yeah, Lynn and I, we read at night and she crochets and we discuss things, but it's become very profound upon her and I that yes, there's a bond. There is what we humans are what we call in the sense of bonding, a blending of two spirits, which is love. Um, but we both have come to the realization that we know when we cross over, we're going to have our own paths. She said to me, she said, the one thing I've come to realize is that we live in inside two different universes.
Oh, absolutely. And I
Yeah,
think we're supposed to because
I
we
think
are
so.
our own universe. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's the beautiful thing when you can meet and come together and have a healthy, happy relationship and being okay with your own universes because they're close enough to where they're in resonance.
sure
But
they
they
are.
have their solid differences between them, but you can marry the two. That's the marriage of the two. And when those two energies, those 2 points of light come together, her effect on you and your effect on her is creating new light.
Yeah, yeah, new
It's a,
possibilities.
yeah, it's a beautiful dance of
Yeah,
information. Yeah.
it's profound because you know, as I was recently reading last night, in fact, that said even in the Muslim, Christian, Hindu, whatever you want to look at it, no matter how you look at the afterlife, it's the individual.
Yes.
It's never the collective, it's the individual.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not the collective's journey, it's the
Nope.
individual's journey.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
why they say salvation is a personal thing. No one can
It's
do this for you. Yeah,
yeah.
nobody can do this for you. You have to do this yourself. And 90% of it is understanding you are much more than you are expressing in your human flesh body.
Mm. And that's where that fear comes down because if you know your weaknesses, I remember when the epiphany came to me breaking away from the indoctrination I was in because I had a great fear of being accused of the stuff that you naturally go through life. You don't learn unless you make mistakes.
Absolutely. And man, it does you're here to learn everything. Everybody signed up for specific buckets of what I call shit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
we all signed up for certain ones and none of them are going to look the same. But
Nope.
that's the thing is when you can truly not have judgment upon any of it anymore. And we all struggle with this. There's always stuff that we're like, oh man. But you know what? Every day, just support yourself more, grow more with it. Love all of your imperfections, love all of your bad choices. Because of those bad choices, you now choose and make better choices. All of these things can be flipped around and looked at as what they truly will be seen as later, which are gifts. Because this is
Mm.
earth school. This is tough.
I had written before this morning, in fact, that what you just described is really the inversion effect.
Yeah, this is a shadowland.
Yeah. Someone can say, well, you lied. Yeah, everybody lies. So what's your point?
Yeah, so
Yeah. All right. So next, well,
yeah.
and you can go through this whole list. And I finally looked at this, and in my mind, I played out a court scene. The prosecution over there was accusing me, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, but show
Well,
me.
funniest part is when you can come to the realization that the accuser is you.
Yeah.
Right there, it's game over because you're like, dude, you know it all. Why would we, what's to discuss?
It's like, I
Pat
said,
me on the back and say, good job. You made it through Earth School and let's move on, please.
what I did is I stood up and I said, you're a liar. And how you end the conversation is that, well, we bring all the liars in the room. Let's see who's telling the truth.
Yeah, that's like the other thing. Which one of you has not sinned? You may cast the first stone. Everybody left.
I'm out of here, man. I don't know. And the thing about it is,
like, yep, that's exactly how it is, Wayne. It's a fact. It's a fact. We are human, having human experiences, and this is hard stuff. It's dense.
And this gets back to this no fear, folks. If you could only begin to understand, you are an imperfect being. It's all right. You know, it's, oh man, I'll tell you, there is freedom, and it is the sweetness of the freedom of the mind when you suddenly realize that it really is an inside game.
Yes. Oh my God. Dude. Yes.
I mean,
it is such an inside game. Oh man, that is a good, that's it right there. It's an inside game. That inside game is to turn you outward. So to turn you inside out, everything is upside down and backwards here. Even our language, we talk in negatives. It's all just a total mind trap to make you think that this is real, because man, it feels real. This technology is crazy awesome. Whew, awesome. But yeah.
I hear it so often in people because they never listen to what they say, but I hear people say, I'm just dying to know.
Right.
Why? Or this'll kill you. Or I'm going to die laughing.
Yes.
Okay.
We don't realize the power of our words. We have never been taught this.
I heard someone say, well, if it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. And I said, absolutely. You've got what you said.
That. Yes, you're creating that, because think about it. Abracadabra. What I speak, I create. And this is true.
And in this person's life is a bucket of crap. I mean, you know, it's just the way it is. I mean, and they're a nice person.
Absolutely, but that's what they're speaking over their existence. They're speaking that into existence by the power of their mouth, their word. Because see, this is a thing I saw, is when these people in this third dimension decided that they wanted to have a piece of the divine feminine spark, they wanted to start playing God and creating with God's light. Somehow they got a hold of this spark. And through that spark, they put it into Adam.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to make Adam wake up. Well, Adam had everything except for it didn't have the activated permission, or like it didn't have the true spirit in it.
Mm-hmm.
So remember they said, breathe into Adam's nostrils. Well, that's when they breathed the spirit into him. So that's when the divine spark got truly brought into man. And I think as soon as Adam woke up and started naming everything, he brought the word in abracadabra. I speak, therefore I create. I think the gods that made him, when they realized he could do more than they did, man, they put him right back to sleep. They said, oh, you got to go back to sleep right now.
Yeah, and you think that, now I'm leaning towards the fact that I think we are a geneticist experiment.
I saw that, Wayne. I saw that so straight up. It took me a long time because I couldn't get the Lilith part and the Gabriel part, but they showed me that algae was Adam, Lilith, Gabriel, and Eve.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
It was literally, and it was like, those magic primordial waters, which is probably semen. It makes everything. And I literally saw 4 drops going into a petri dish, and then each one above each 4 drops was like Adam, and it was earth. And then Lilith was like the lunar air, the receiving, the spirit part. And then Gabriel, they showed me fire, and they showed me the spinal cord and the messenger of God. Like that's how you communicate to these 2 realms through the body, was the spinal cord complex, the tree of life. They showed me all these electrical systems that were operating the communication processes within the body. And then Eve, they showed me Eve, like Eve was like a clone taken out of Adam, and it was a dumbed down version. So as soon as they could make the Eve, like the Eve part, it had a effect on the Adam part, and it like kept it stupid. So
the evidence, the what I would say, the circumstantial evidence alone says that something's wrong with us.
Oh, for sure.
We should, and I say this all the time, but we should be at IQs of 2 to 3,000.
I think
We
that's
should.
what we originally
I
had.
think so as
We're
well.
only using 10% of our brain. I
You
mean,
know,
could you
I
imagine?
don't even think we're using that. I think that they.
I don't either, to be
Yeah.
honest. But I think some are using very close, and maybe like some of like us, because we're constantly getting new knowledge, and
Mm-hmm.
that makes your brain grow. They say it doesn't. Well, that's not true. So
Mm-hmm. No.
every time we learn a new concept or we expand our mind a little bit further, we're producing more neural pathways in our brain, which is making your brain grow.
And I contend that the unintended consequence of this geneticist, and I don't think that they were caring. I don't think these geneticists,
Gosh, no. I think they
they're
stole
heartless.
it. They
Yeah.
stole it. They're
No, I
thieves.
think that's true.
I think they
Um,
stole it. Hmm.
you know, and I've read this in the Urantia book. I've read this in, you know, now with the Palladians. I've read this in a number of other places. We're going to get back tomorrow into the alien interview. We're going to listen to what Ariel had to say. And let's not, you know, we visited that almost 9 months ago. But anyway, the point is, everyone talks about something that took over this quadrant area of space.
Yeah.
And apparently the Palladians know who they are, what they are, and it's the only thing that makes sense. Because
It's
it's much. Go ahead.
dragons, the draconians, I'm pretty sure. The reptilians. That's why
Yeah, it seems that.
yeah, we got put
Um,
into skin, and we got the reptilians, the replication, and that's how they could replicate bodies, and they harnessed somehow. They got the light somehow. They stole it.
well, I had a dream that, you know, this is what got me started, was that this expanse of time, our species has not advanced like other species. And it's because we are literally being regressed. Again, if we are as young as we think we are, or as old as we hope we could be,
Mhm.
we should be way down the line.
And we are, and I think that's like when we tap into our higher self, like that's how we get these brilliant ideas, these new concepts. We still have that, but we've been there's a veil. We've been
Oh,
veiled. There's layers of veils over us, so we can't have access to those. Because
the old expression hoodwinked, you know what
you
that
got
means?
it,
Putting a hood
and
over
think
your
about it.
head.
What do they do to you when you're a child? They put you through education. Why do they call it childhood?
Mm-hmm.
They're putting a
Yeah,
hood over you, so you can't
yeah.
see the truth of the world. They're
And
starting
it
the
stays
first
with us in
layer.
adulthood.
Yes, they're starting those layers of the veils that go over the mind. So we have many of them, and it is the system. It's the frequency of our system. They even changed the music to cause irritation. Now we've got
Oh, man.
5G, these frequencies.
Jeez.
See, the closer we get to reconnecting to this natural part of what we are and waking up our brain, they're going to hit us harder with the things that they know that's going to stop it, like fluoride in the water. They've been doing this for years because they know what's going to happen when we do.
Well, yeah, and getting the whole fluoride thing. Yeah, the thing that gets me is that there's a remnant that I see happening, but then on the other hand, we were recently at a public event and we had to leave because number one, I could not stand in this ballroom with the type of music that was going on, and two, more than ever, I'm hearing virtually hundreds of conversations that in my head that I just
Are
told Lynn, I
yours.
said, I have to leave. I said,
Yep.
this is getting, I said, this is a very bad energy in here. And anyway, I don't know.
When the first time I realized that when I was a little kid, I went to the state fair and I was little, and that I felt bad energies and I could hear all these different voices. I was like, oh my goodness. And I swear to you, a couple things followed me home. So when you get those feelings, always make sure when you're on your way home that you put up a block wall that nothing can pass through it, and so nothing can follow you home. Do whatever works for you to make sure that you're sealing your auric field kicking all that energy out, you're clearing your space, and you're saying, no hitchhikers.
Yeah, folks, moderators, put the worm in timeout. This is not a place for proselytizing anyone. We respect all beliefs, but I've been watching your comments. Folks, put that person in timeout and let this be a lesson to you. You are very rude by impressing your will upon the free will of the people in this community. I don't dig it. I don't like it. You're entitled to your belief, but this is not the place nor the forum for you to be proselytizing anything but yourself.
No.
All right, moving on.
Yeah. It's funny too, because I've seen these dark energies take over people, and I've seen what they do. And
Yeah.
you know what? It is a real phenomena. I mean, it is straight up a real phenomena. But the bottom line is that we do truly have the power to get rid of them. And all it is frequency. And you got to, like I said, you got to be careful playing with tools, invoking, doing these things, because it really does work. So yeah,
Very.
You think, oh, I'm gonna play around, I'm gonna call upon some of the high level demons and have them be my be whatever cocky attitude. Let me tell you, that thing is gonna slay you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it will bring you right to your knees, and it will hurt everybody around you that you love too. You do not play with these things, but you do have the power, if they're around you, to get rid of them. And the fastest way to do that is through frequency. You have to shift your frequency, because fear feeds them. It feeds them. It completely feeds them. It's like handing them a
It's like a buffet,
You got it. Yeah. Yeah. So,
smorgasbord,
Yeah. So literally, you have to literally train your brain. You need to go watch a movie that no matter where you're at, it makes you laugh. Something that makes you laugh. You feel the power of miracles, supernatural powers, superhero powers, whatever makes you smile, giggle, and feel powerful. You tap into those frequencies, and those things cannot stand. But you have to do that work. Nobody can do that for you, because until you change that vibration inside your being, that thing can set up camp as long as you stay in that vibration that matches.
And the thing is, they're very subtle. They'll come in, because I've noticed myself, is that they'll come in and it's the emotions.
That's what I told you. 90% of it for me, Wayne, is identification.
And I've told Lynn this. I said, you know what? I just had the weirdest urge to, start an argument. And I said, I don't think so. And she looked at me and she said, well, whatever got into you to do that? And I said, bingo. Exactly. I said, that is exactly what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I talk about the archons and the chakras.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I literally see like they got main lines straight into our spine. Just toy with us all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now I'm catching myself. I'm going, all right, where did that come? That didn't come from me.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I said, identification.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing. And boy, when you start doing it, you do start noticing it. You're like, oh, that was
what it is?
Thought.
It's like swatting flies. It's
yes.
Like, you son of a bitch, where'd that come from?
Yeah, and it's constant, and it's coming from all different directions. Yeah, so staying in your frequency, like I said, it is the great work. That is the great work on this planet, is to find your 0 point in polarity, to marry the two, to not hold judgment, to not get emotionally charged one way or another, to see things from a central point, and to be grounded in that. That's hard to do here, but that's what a lot of us are doing through meditation, these spiritual practices. We are bringing that resonance back in, and we are balancing out the extremes through the knowing and comprehension of all that is here is going to be allowed. And that's a huge thing to have to come to, because we see some really dark stuff. This is the world of duality. It is.
And I'm just...
even down to the split of our helix, hell, helix, double hell.
Yeah, well, I say that they took 10 of them away from us. I'm just
That's
kind of saying,
right. When they made the new helix, that was
yeah,
the hell. That's the Shadowlands, the illusions, the
which
hell
we live
world.
in.
Yeah, Shadow World, the helix. They needed that helix to get us into hell.
Well, they did a good job.
Yeah, and then the carbon-based molecule is numbered 666. It's hilarious.
So I'm reading some of the comments in the chat room. I know you can't see them. And so someone said that there seems to be more negative comments this in the room than normal. I don't know how you could have negative. I saw the one person, and well, folks, we just invoke favor. Whether you're having a bad day or a good day, it's okay.
Yeah.
Just don't bring your dirty laundry and share it with the rest of the people. Put a smile on your face, even if it hurts.
Yes. That's
And
the key. Fake it till you make it, because if you stay in a positive vibration long enough, eventually it will shift.
and learn to laugh when the negative thoughts come in. Just laugh at them.
Yes.
That's
Just say, nice try.
I read in whose book was it? It was one of the 17th century magicians. And anyway, in one of their spell books, the one thing that he did right was that in a situation when there is a spirit that has been conjured, that they can get out of hand real quick, but laughter is the one thing that will put them back supposedly into the genie bottle.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yep. They can't handle those vibrations of love and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's too high for them. It's like when an opera singer breaks the glass. That's what they show me that it feels like to them. Like they're going to hold, like they're going to shatter. They'll go back together, but they're going to shatter just from the extreme pitch. Like the pitch is too high.
That's why that's why a lower vibration cannot be in the same space of a higher vibration. It will shatter the lower one.
I think so.
Shatter it to asunder. And that's exactly so often where I see the psychic vampires, people that are master manipulators, is what they're literally doing is altering the frequency of the individual they're feeding off of.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, it's what's happening. And it doesn't need to be that way. And it gets back to this fear thing, because fear is a frequency.
Totally.
You can smell it.
Absolutely.
There's
if it's not a positive frequency, it's falling in the more lower, denser, negative frequencies. And those are all fear-based. They might have different labels, different names, all these things, but all of them, they're all based from fear.
You know what I learned a lot as I look back? I was a wrangler for a couple of years at a summer camp. And the one thing and then I took care of the horses. And the one thing I found out about horses is I could tell very quickly with a camper getting on the horse whether that camper was in a state of fear by listening to the horse.
Yep.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah, they knew. And there were a couple of horses that you couldn't put people on that had fear because they would hurt them.
They would. They'd act up.
Yeah,
they're like,
they would.
Get off my back if you don't know what's going on. They don't even want them on their backs. Yeah, and they will get them off.
We had a mare. We called her Copper. She had the most beautiful mane, copper mane, and I love that horse. But I'll tell you what, you couldn't, like you said, you couldn't put someone on her back. And we also noticed that you could tell those who had a mean streak in them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's true.
I saw my Arabian. She bit somebody and she'd never bit before.
Really?
She did not like this guy, and he walked by her stall and she bit him. Yeah. I was like, holy moly. Yeah. I mean, I did a flip with this horse. She stumbled and she literally rolled the opposite way to not hurt me. I mean, she was a good horse.
They're
awesome horse. We rescued her.
Magnificent creatures. Really?
Oh my God! These people, they left her in this open arena with no food, She had water, but the reason she had water is because she couldn't get to it to drink to it. She was tied up in barbed wire and she had frozen there for 3 days. And I was going to school every day and I kept seeing this horse and it wasn't moving. It was in the same position every day. I was like, something ain't right. I went over there and I freaking freaked out on the owner. I banged down his door and I told him, I says, I'm calling animal control on you. I said, you give me the papers to this horse by noon tomorrow. I says, or I'm calling the authorities and I'm having you arrested. He's like, you can have it. I'll have the papers for you tomorrow. I was like, okay. So I went and cut the barbed wire off her, got her water, treated her wounds, and went there the next morning with the trailer. And the guy gave me the papers and I hauled that horse away.
I hope he got enlightened before he left, because
I don't think so.
I've heard from spirit or energies that humans that mistreat animals,
oh, it's bad.
They're not going to have a fun time.
No, they're not.
No. We again, man's ignorance. The knowledge is here. We don't understand the three kingdoms. And on earth, there are three kingdoms.
Yes.
And man has violated his position in that kingdom. And I would say modern man. I don't think ancient man did. I think they learned how to live in unison with the other two kingdoms.
Much more, even with the technology was more based in alignment. The science was more spiritually aware.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they were working more with the natural earth resonance and the earth energies and the earth magnetic grids. They weren't creating their own technology. They were using the earth's natural technologies to support their technology.
I'll tell you, if people could just understand, and there's a lot of us who do understand, but animals, they are here. I have finally figured this out. They're here to assist us in our progress.
I think they're our guides.
Yeah. I mean, Dancer's taught me more about love than any one human. And that's a profound statement for me, but that animal has shown me what unconditional love is, regardless. And the thing about dogs that I have found out, they will suffer quietly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Think about it too. Dog, flip it. God.
Yeah.
You want to see the unconditional love of God, of creation?
Yeah.
Dog.
And animals are the same way. I mean, horses are particularly, they are magnificent creatures, but I have found the ability, I can talk to the rabbits around here. Now, these rabbits are very shy because the other neighbors tried to kill them and chase them out. But here, once you make eye contact with them, and I know I had one neighbor say, why are all the rabbits over in your yard?
Right. Because I'm not mean to them.
I said, because they have a right to be.
Right.
Huh? Yeah. I don't know how we got off on this, but I know why. Because this is where fear comes in. You know what? Exactly. If you can have the compassion to love an animal,
yes,
then you can conquer any fear in your head.
Well, that's what I mean. And we're battling such hardcore fear programs because we've got people on this planet who do hurt animals.
Mm-hmm.
The way we eat our food is horrible to the animals. Everything going on with children is horrible. These things are a frequency on the planet, and they are some of the deepest and the darkest and the hardest ones to clear. But like I said, you see an animal in trouble, rescue it. You see a human in trouble, rescue it. Start being the savior. Start being the person that's making the changes. It's like, nobody gave me anything for saving a horse. I don't care. I don't care.
But that's building good.
The right thing to do, right?
That's a good deposit in your future bank account. On the other side.
It's so funny too, because Wayne, I did not care. I was so pissed. I wanted to save that horse because I was so freaked out somebody could let that happen to a horse.
Yeah.
I was just mad. So I went and that horse was a purebred, solid, registered Arabian. The horse was worth.
You just said something. That's that righteous indignation.
Yeah, and we never sold him. We kept him till he died. But yeah.
He probably loved you for it.
You know what I mean? It was like, no, you're staying with us now.
We support an organization that it works with Down syndrome children.
Yeah.
And, you know, the therapy that you see happens
Yeah.
between these children and the horses it's
Mind
profound,
blowing. Yeah.
profound.
The
Right?
connection,
Their
the
minds open
joy.
up.
Yeah,
It's,
the joy they
yeah,
feel. And yeah, it's a
yeah,
beautiful thing. I've seen therapy with
yeah,
horses, equine therapies. They're amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It brings, I'm trying to hold back the tears
I
because
know.
um, it's,
Yeah.
it's that aspect of this journey that you see the contradiction, you know. And by the way, these horses were abused horses.
Yeah.
So you have abused horses helping children who have come into this life and in the challenges they are. But when you see that connection, that tells me that there is something that extends beyond just this.
Think about it too, Wayne. You're bringing two polar opposites together to go to make it heal,
Yeah,
because the abused horses are with children that don't emotionally develop. So they're always children. And children are the most innocent, beautiful, non-violent, loving energy of humanity.
yeah, yeah,
And you're putting that beautiful innocence on the back of the horse that's been abused by humans, and it gets to see the beauty of a human, because this human is innocent, perfect, and beautiful, and it will always be because of its mental capabilities. The world won't consume it.
yeah.
So it's a beautiful blend, and that
It
causes healing.
is. I tell you, when you see these children, they first get there, um, there's always the awe because the horses are big, you know, to them,
Yeah,
and they are. I mean,
yeah.
most of these are about 9 hands high,
Mhm.
but it's amazing when that connection takes place, and
Yes.
you can see it by the way that the horse's ears are moving. You know,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yes. And
and
how they hold their head, and if
yeah,
they're being
yeah,
still or if they're
yeah,
wiggling, they
yeah.
have a million clues.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
There's one that does this little pawing thing, which,
Yeah.
you know, it because the horse is happy. You know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it's like. Hey, let's
yeah,
go. I'm ready to
yeah,
play.
yeah. So, yeah, I'll tell you what, boy, you know, I don't know how we got off on that, but it again is that joy. It's that part
Yeah.
of, you know, the no fear, because, you know, when you're in that mindset, that frequency, that vibration, no evil can come in. It's a
Maybe that's
solid
why
wall. Thank you,
this is
Jack.
coming up right now. Maybe this is coming up because it's supposed to. And
Maybe
maybe
someone needed to hear that.
not only that, I feel like this might be a bigger call. Um, like really maybe spend some time adding a little extra love to your animals, the people
Mm.
around you. Maybe there's a vibrational, like a kind of a signal saying, hey guys, there's something going on here, maybe we need to raise the vibration, and this is how you do it.
I know this is going to sound funny, but I talked to a person recently, and they said, "Yeah, I've been here many times. My last time through, I was a whale."
i
I, I said, "What?" Said,
i
"Yeah,
I saw someone who had an experience as an octopus.
okay." This person
Oh,
said, "I came in and lived as a whale."
then I've known dolphins too, and yeah. Mhm.
I did watch Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, so I know about them dolphins and the whales as well. They were in there. I hadn't just now thought about that, but you know, I'm thinking, you know, we've been talking about animals, but I wonder how many of these animals would be more than happy to share if we would just reach out.
You know, Wayne, I'm seeing the most beautiful phenomena. It's sad, but it's beautiful. I'm actually seeing whales coming up to the fisher boats now because they've got net trapped around their fins and stuff, and they're literally coming to the humans now and asking for help. This is happening all over the planet. These animals are going and getting the humans and crying out for help. And like the humans are like trying to give them food, trying to figure out what's wrong. And finally they realize to follow them, and they'll take them and show them what's wrong. And then the humans are fixing and helping and saving these animals. There's something happening with this right now, and it is profound and it is beautiful. I
I
had a
agree.
wild dove fly and come and sit on my couch with me and jumped on my knee. and started fluffing its feathers like it was going to take a nap. A wild dove.
How wonderful.
Nature is something's going on. I've never had a
Something is
wild
going
bird
on,
come and
by the way.
land on me before. Ever in my life, never had a wild bird. They've come very close to me my whole life. I've had hummingbirds 2 centimeters from my eyeball.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, I hope you're in a good mood because that's a big needle at my eyeball. They fly around my head all the time. I get that stuff all the time, butterflies, but to actually physically have a wild bird come and sit and hang out on my couch for like 5 minutes on my outdoor couch. It literally came and sat on my knee. We had
Fabulous.
enough time to take out the phone, do photo opportunities, took pictures of it, the whole thing.
There is certain cultures would say to you that was a spirit guide, but it just depends on what beliefs are on that. This has been marvelous. I think we've really, and let me just say about the animals, we up here where we live in the mountains, the next to the mountains, should I say, because they're coming down into the suburbs, we're seeing more and more wild animals with more and more interactions with people. I don't know what that means. I think it has to do with the frequency, the Schumann resonance.
It's something, Wayne. I've never seen this before. Natural wild animals are literally approaching humans every day right now. I've never seen it like this. I mean, I've known people that had that kind of affinity with nature, but these animals are coming up to humans to say, help me. I've never seen this before.
Well, I've seen the rabbits, they are such creatures of observation. But I would happen to agree with you. I think that there is something going on. I contend that something is about to happen, and we all keep saying it, but I think it's real. Well, wow, where did the hour go? I mean, we were just talking about,
It's so fast, Wayne. That time warp thing.
It is. It tells us that we literally zoom through we are zooming through. I'm telling you, something is up. I mean, this compression, we started the show with the compression of time, and yeah.
It's weird. Something is going on. I'm trying to figure it out. There is something going on. I can feel it. I can sense it. And like the energy, even the chat was even odd. Something's saying, pay attention right now, guys. Send some positive focus for whatever reason. Yeah. I think we're being summoned.
I think we are too.
At this very moment, to bring in some positive energy and do it by loving acts of kindness, small random acts of kindness, just anything you can do to spread a little love. Really do it.
I do believe.
We're coming upon Halloween, and we do know this is one of the most darkest times for a lot of people that do have dark intentions. Maybe that's what this is about.
Well, favor, folks.
Absolutely.
It is in our arsenal, favor will always win out. And I keep telling people, Trina, use favor instead of love, because love has, in the English, it can be, it can be
too much charge.
Yeah.
Too much charge.
It's like, I don't know what you mean when you say you love me. I mean, do you love me or do you love me? I mean,
right.
So, but if you say favor, Trina, I just speak favor unto you.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, it's like, you don't have to think about
these focus groups that were doing the most positive work, there was no religion involved with it. It was a focused intention, like a word, like peace, healing, thank you, gratitude. Period.
Boy, gratitude. That's
what I'm telling you. Yeah, the focus groups that were working with gratitude, I think that's powerful business right there. And that's what I keep hearing. It's right now. We need to really focus on gratitude and focus on, like I said, these small acts of random kindness. Focus on the ones that have been done to you. Focus on the ones you've done for others and create new ones.
I can't think of a better way to end the show. It is. It's
our work.
As the great Buddha once said, every journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. So we're going to take the one step.
Absolutely.
All right, Trina, stick with me, folks. Thank you for being here. This was an interesting day, and I like that. And folks, and thank you, all the moderators. Thank you for everyone who stayed in there. And we try to keep the conversation lively, so you folks over in the chat room can keep it lively as well, but respectful. We thank you all. Favor to you, and we'll see you tomorrow. And Miss Trina, I'll see you next week, and let me know. Don't go anywhere. Bye-bye, folks. We will see you later.